Welcome back, everyone. We just finished up an easy page. So this one's got a little more going on, but it's not too bad. So let's get started making some cuts. Flap A, this is page 6. So flap A is 8 7/8 by 4 3/8. So the 8 7/8 is 2 lines before the 9, and the 4 3/8 is 2 lines after 4 1/4. Flat B is 8 7/8 by 4 3/4. C, 8 7/8 by 4. D is 4 1/4 by 4 7/16. And I am sorry about that. It just turned out that way. But 4 7/16 is 1 line before 4 1/2. E, 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. F is 4 1/4 by 3 3/4. G, 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And H, 4 1/2 by 4. Okay, so let's set our page 6 aside. Pull out the scoreboard. Okay, so flap A, we're going to score to 1/2 inch with the 4 3/8 side facing up. Now B. B is going to have a 1/4 inch gusset, and that's just going to leave us some room because there's a lot of flaps underneath this. So what I do for that is make your 1/2 inch score line, the 3 3/4 facing up, and then just because it's real tight in there, I want to make sure I get a 1/4 inch. I'm going to take a ruler and just go put a pencil mark a 1/4 inch after this 1/2 inch. I'm going to put a pencil mark right at a 1/4 inch right there. And then score that. Okay, that gives me a, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a 1/4 inch space there. Okay, so C is a pocket, and I'm going to score on 3 sides, and I'm going to start with my longer side, the 8 7/8 facing up. This is a horizontal pocket. D, there's a flap. I'm going to score a 1/2 inch with the 4 7/16 side facing up. So that's the smaller side. And just to double check, yes. Okay, E. Score to 1/2 inch. They're the same measurement, so it doesn't matter where you place it. F has no score lines, so I'll set that aside. G is the pocket that goes on top of that, so that's going to score 3 sides, and I'm going to start with the 5 1/2 facing the top. Okay, And H is a pocket insert and has no score lines, so we will just hold that aside as well. All right, so let me bring back my page 6. Here we are, page 6. Okay, let's start putting these down. I'm going to start over here on the left-hand side with flap A. Ooh, let's tape all these. Forgot about that part. Let's tape them all real quick before we start laying everything down. There's a pocket. Okay, so B, that's our one with that 1/4" gusset. You just tape one right near the bottom, and we're not having any tape go in that gusset. So just the same that you would normally tape. Let's burnish this all down. Okay, so here's my page 6. I'm putting on flap A first on the left-hand side. Just a little bit of space at the top and bottom, and this is going to go flush along the edge. Okay, so flap B, that's our one with the 1/4" gusset. So I'm going to fold the far line and then the one that's closer to me. So basically it'll look like that. And I'm going to just tape this side down to the right hand side. So now I want to line these up right here. These are our side doors. You don't want them to touch because then it's hard to open and they get all bent. So you just leave a little bit of space, eyeball that, and then make sure you're even with this paper, top and bottom. It all lines up. And then when you're ready, just take that and press it down. Oopsie. Basically, I have to hold this piece right here doesn't look quite right. No, I'm a little to the top, so I'm gonna lower this just a little bit, and I didn't press too hard, so I can easily move this. Better to move things right in the beginning as you notice it. Okay, let me give that a couple seconds to dry. And try this again. All right, so I've got my little bit of space, and it looks lined up between here and here. There's a little bit of space at the top and bottom, very little, and then like a 1/8 of an inch maybe in between these doors. And then I'll just press this down lightly. Open up that flap. So it's very hard to do when you've got a gusset here, but we have time, so we will just patiently make sure this fits. There. Okay. All right. When you're happy with that, you can press it down. Okay, and there's some room here to move. And now I'm going to put my pocket. So that is flap C. So I'm going to take that, cut my corners. That down. Okay, so this is going to go right in the middle here, and I want to make sure that I've got just a little bit of space between this score line over here and the first score line on flat B. And then I use my thumbs to guide it down flush at the bottom. Okay, mine is not leaving me too much room with this score line. So I want to move that over just a little bit. This is giving me trouble. By just like a 1/16 of an inch. So I've got room, I can move this over. Okay. Let's make sure our pocket fits. Okay, good. So I have a little bit of space on the left side, a little bit of space on the right, and I can press this pocket down. And then I will take off my sides. Okay, there we go. Looks nice. Now the next thing is, let's open these up. We've got some flaps going across the top here. So let's see, we've got flap D and E. And let's see, the bigger one, E, is on the left. The lighter one, D, is on the right. And basically they're gonna go right here. So let's put down D first. That is our 4 1/4 by 4 7/16. And that is gonna go right on the side here. And I'm putting this down right before this first score line. So a little bit of space at the top. There's a little, you know, like a 1/4 inch at the bottom here. And I'm gonna lay that down. Okay, looks good. Flap E is gonna go on this side, and it overlaps flap D just a little bit. Well, not more than just a little bit, like 3/4 of an inch. But it goes along the edge here and it overlaps. So let's take off this backing. And basically I'm putting this non-sticky side right across this flap so I make sure that it's lined up top and bottom. And then I'll push it back to right where you want to go above that score line. Right here, there's a little bit of space. Okay, that way this flap will go right over that. Okay, so it goes like that. And then we have a pocket. So let's cut this pocket. And that way I can put it on top of my other flap. Okay, so make sure which is going where. Okay. Hold on. So this is going to go right about here. This pocket, the opening is going to face towards the left. Yeah, so I'm gonna put this on top here of flap H. Okay, and then that is gonna go on top like that, and it overhangs, okay? So that's gonna be like that. All right, so let's take off our tape underneath here. I'm just gonna, before I put this down, I just wanna put everything in and make sure it's the right measurement. All right. This piece, it just needs a little bit taken off the side here. As I'm putting this in here, It's a little snug, so I'm going to take a little bit off of there. Just a little bit. Let's see. Let's make sure that fits. A little bit more. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. There we go. Okay, so that fits nice and snug in here. And what I want to do, this is our cutout. I have these little graphic 45 tags. So I'm going to show you that. I got a pack of these little tags. You just want something that you can pull this out. If you don't have, you know, a little tag like that, they sell little punches that you can make pullouts. So let me rustle around in here. I'm looking. I have like a little punch that you can make a tag just to put on here. You can also take one of the circles that are in this paper collection. They have a lot of these die cut circles, and you can put that right there. But I'm using one of these little graphic 45 tags, and I'm going to be putting that right on flap F, and that would go like this, and that's going to go in this pocket. Okay, so for now, let's get this glued down. What I want to do is, the opening is facing the left, this is facing the right. I want it to overhang this flap just a little, so it's like that. So I'm going to put it late where I want it, and I'm going to make a pencil mark right underneath here, right where I'm laying it, right on the edge. I make a pencil mark, and that's where I'm going to tape. So from here down, it's going to have tape on it and nothing on this side. So you can take some score tape, and I'm going to tape it, but I'm not going to tape it down yet until I have my design paper there. I'm just going to put this on here. A piece at the top and bottom, one in the middle. Okay, so this I'm just going to save, because I need to put my design paper here first, and then we can put this little pocket on top, and it will be right at this tape line right here, like that. That will help us lift up this flap. It overlays that flap. Then this comes over, that comes over. Okay, and I'm going to have a little circle cut out here so you can pull this door open. So that is, we're done with all the pockets and flaps putting on there. Let me just show you which papers I use, so you can do that and just save this aside for right now. Okay, so let's get my book and show you, so you don't have to flip back to the walkthrough. Okay, let's go through which papers. All right. So the top door flaps, I chose from the 12 by 12 stamp area paper pack. There's a page of macaroons, and I laid that paper down and I cut right a little bit below this plaque here, and then put it on the doors and cut, you know, right down here, so these two will line up. These two macaroon pages line up. So those go on the outside. I stuck a little circle of a cookie there and backed it with black and taped that down. On the inside I have, this is from the Dress My Craft cupcakes. This is from the 12 by 12. It's on the back of one of the pages. See if you can find it. This I think was on the back of one of the covers of the 12 by 12. So I put that there. This is just a leftover scrap piece. It had layers and I took one of the circles and cut that out and put that on top. This is a little scrap piece and I fit it inside the pocket. This is our little square cutout, pastiaries, and that's just a scrap piece on the back. And again, I just took this tag and taped it on our flap, so that fits in there like that. I rounded the corners, so there. It opens up. There's the green polka dot paper that's on the back of the 12 by 12. Here's the second ice cream cone. We already used one, so this is on a 12 by 12 piece of paper, and this comes from that same paper. This is also was a scrap piece. It's on a 12 by 12, and I put that in to about here, and it fits right into the pocket. This, I had a little piece of scrap left, and it didn't quite go to the top, but I took a piece of scrap and put, you know, pink lacy up there. So yeah, always, even if your piece is little of this design paper, just save it, because you can always use that. And there's more room in this pocket for me to make more things. This is a piece of chipboard. Goes like that. I could put ribbon there. That folds over, this folds over. And for the pullout, I use this piece. It was a scrap also. Okay, and we will start on page 7 in the next video.